up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, what up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward, and we're still waiting to wake up too, man, with those lights.
In the dark.
But you know what? It's awesome because it has this Honolulu Blue Lion standing out. So, hey, what up, though, people?
Just
You guys are on, boys.
Karaoke flannel today, but
Friday
anywho,
show.
we could start.
Friday show.
We could start the show now.
Hey, look, it's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. We got Flannel Sam over here, better the squad, and we got Lions, and we do got to talk about those Red Wings too, because in this opening segment, because they did pick up another dub to extend that winning streak to 3 games. But you know what, man? We got a pretty nice crew in today as well. The Booth, KG, JB. We got that dude Justin, Cavassier, Chase. Well, really Chase GPT. And it's a Friday, so you already know. High Def Steph, part of the WUW Crew extended family is in the building.
Friday, Happy New Year, y'all.
TLB time.
Man,
brother.
we have got ourselves a full house today.
Hey, you know what? Pep rally time, because Lions about to go handle that business. And you know what? Question of the day to people. I'll let High Def Steph ask it. You know what? We were just talking about how people feeling, man. Ask the people, man. Let's set this thing up. Talk to the people, and
I
then
just want to know how y'all feeling by Sunday. I got my feelings, but how do y'all feel? Y'all can drop it in the chat for us.
let's go. Let us go. Flannel for the TLB.
Yes.
Or you know, we got to talk about these Detroit Red Wings, because we
Yes.
talked about we want all of these teams in the playoffs. And I know Jaden Ivey. Broken fibula was confirmed.
Yeah.
Dr. Pierce was on, and you're hearing it from other medical people. Like, this was kind of best case scenario. Yeah. There was a little concern of if there was nerves or any other damage, but right now the prognosis is he will be reevaluated after successful surgery in 4 weeks. I don't know if that's better or worse for what the Pistons, what their strategies are, but that is definitely great for him. I am happy for Jaden Ivey. His people are like, he's going to be good. You know what I mean? And that makes me very, very happy. So he will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Looking like maybe like a 2-month kind of timeline. But when we get to that 4 to 6 week reevaluation, we will hear. And then, you know what? Maybe they keep that playoffs in order for them, because the Red Wings are another team, 3-game winning streak. It seems like there's a little bit of Tide magic going on right now. Let's go, man. Talk to me about it.
Hey, you know what? A 3-game winning streak, and I really start to perk up. The 2-game one was nice. It was, but I said it yesterday. I've seen this before. I've seen them win a couple of games and then kind of go into the tank. But last night, it looked like how I think Red Wings games are going to have to look moving forward, because I still don't think they're a good defensive team. Maybe Ben Sherratt can have a bit of a renaissance with Todd McClellan, but still, this is a team that defensively is going to be limited. I said that they were going to have to outscore teams, and last night, that's what they did. They took a 3-1 lead, which was a race, and they took a 4-3 lead, which was a race, and then they ultimately got the game winner with less than a minute left by Jonathan Bergeron, somebody who's got a goal in 2 consecutive games, which is great to see for the depth scoring purposes. But yeah, one thing that the Red Wings, I think if they're going to make the playoffs, what they're going to need to do moving forward is be a borderline dominant power play team, at least get back into the top 10, maybe even the top 5. And you saw that last night. 3 power plays, opportunities, 2 goals. You love to see it. They were decent enough on the PK as well. Not perfect, but they killed it when they needed to. You saw DeBrincat, somebody who I was a little bit critical of a couple of days ago. Maybe he's going to make me look a little bit stupid, but as I said before, I was motivating. That's all that I was doing.
Listen,
3
maybe
points.
he taps into the show, bro. And
Maybe
he was
he
like,
does.
you know what? For you, Flannel.
I don't
For
want to be
Flannel.
Lily Phillips. That's the last thing I want to be. That's what he's thinking. That's what he's thinking when he goes out and scores 3 points and has a power play goal. You saw Dylan Larkin with a power play goal as well. And you know what else? This is something that is a bit under the radar, I think. Erik Gustafsson has had a terrible season. Let's just call a spade. But the reason you get an Erik Gustafsson, the way that he can become somewhat valuable is if he's in the scoring column. And he got his first goal of the season last night. He's a guy who at one point, I believe it was in 2019, had a 60-point season, which is very, very good for a defenseman. And when he's at his best, you can almost, pencil in a little bit less than a half a point per game. So you need a little bit more out of him. The defense, it is what it is, but a dominant power play last night, depth scoring from your stars, as I've talked about before. Lucas Raymond, keep doing what you're doing. We need maybe a little bit more from Dylan Larkin and Alex DeBrincat. Be actual point-a-game guys and get something from your depth guys. We've seen in the last couple of games, we've seen Berggren play better. We've seen Comfort get a goal. We've seen Veleno play better as well. And hopefully moving forward, we're going to get more from Marco Kasper as well. So 3-game winning streak, you got me. You got my ears perked up a little bit. And the team clearly looks a little bit revitalized under Todd McClellan. NHL midseason,
bro.
Yes, NHL midseason firings happen all of the time, and many times you've seen it recently, like last year with the Edmonton Oilers making the Cup, and then in 2019 with the Blues winning the Cup. Not saying the Red Wings are going to do that, but it happens all of the time. Teams get a new life under them, and right now they're looking good. Am I saying they're going to make the playoffs? Need to see a little bit more, but a 3-game winning streak is exactly a good start.
It definitely is a good start, and I believe the Pistons still have enough to get to that postseason, and what I'm seeing out of the Red Wings, and hopefully the Tide magic continues, that we do get those 4 Detroit sports teams in the playoffs, which would be just from nowhere, like where we thought, well, at least we got the Lions, to then the Tigers surprise us. Now the Pistons surprise us, and now the Red Wings are, mid-season. I was wondering, was this more about the voice in the locker room? Did the coach lose that? And right now it's looking like he might have. You see how this team is responding, and it's the players that you've wanted to see step up. And with Dylan Larkin, it's funny with him. I almost feel like he's like, no, y'all got to prove something to me first. Y'all let me down last year. I rested for 7 games. 7 games. And y'all let me down like that. Yeah. So, you know what? Dylan Larkin, I know that he's somebody we're not going to really have to, worry about too much. But I know we got some other puck knowers in the building.
Yes, we do. Want to hear from him.
Hey, Justin, man, that hat is so freaking fire every time, bro.
Thank you. I love this hat. Shout out the Wings, 3-game winning streak. And you can see the noticeable improvements under McClellan so far. I mean, guys like Andrew Kopp and Gustafsson have been playing so much better. Kopp has had 2 points last night. He has been a plus player for the last 3 games, so that's huge for him. And the lines are just more balanced. Like, I think Lalonde didn't truly understand how to build lines, and McClellan has come in here, has built the lines where they're all even. Bringing Veleno up to the first line looks like a genius move, has ignited Raymond and Larkin. The penalty kill is a lot better. You can trust them now. I think splitting Edvinsson and Sider was big to make this decor more balanced as well. Sherrod is playing better. Gustafsson is playing better. You don't need Gustafsson to do a lot. If he's playing 14 minutes a game and every couple games he's a +1 and has a goal or an assist, that's all you need. And it's just showing you that this team had a lot more gas in the tank from the start. It was coaching like we all thought. And now you've been able to take points away from teams that are ahead of you in the standings. The Blue Jackets are 1 spot out of the wild card. The Penguins are 1 spot. Blue Jackets are 2 spots out of the wild card. You beat the Capitals, who are the 1 seed in the East. You are bringing in quality wins and beating very good opponents, which is a great sign for this Red Wings team if they want to make the playoffs, because you're going to have to continue to beat very good teams, including teams like the Winnipeg Jets, who you play tonight.
Yeah, Justin,
or tomorrow.
No, you mentioned putting Veleno on the first line. That's a ballsy move. That's something that a coach who understands the personnel a little bit better, has experience taking teams to the playoffs. That's what he thought was a move that was going to help the team, and so far it has, because during various times, he's been a third line or a fourth line guy. And splitting up Edvinsson and Sider, we see it in the chat. Justin, you mentioned as well. Jordan Lionheart mentioned it. It makes it so that you actually could have a quality defense that is outside of the first line, because you didn't have that for a very, very long time. I still don't think it means that this defense is going to be necessarily good, but if the offense can pick it up, if the 5-on-5 can pick it up, if the power play goes back to being what it was last year and at the beginning of this year, this is a team that could find their way into the playoffs. I still believe, even though there's tons of questions about the defense, that this season is playoffs or bust. So keep this winning streak going. Continue to gain points on teams ahead of you, and you know what? Let's write it out. And I think the fans, there seems to be an excitement amongst the Red Wings fans as well, to where it was really bordering on, I don't want to say paper bags at games or anything like that, but the way that they were losing those games to the Canadiens and then to St. Louis, it was just so demoralizing. And now there's life, and sometimes that's all you need.
And one thing you're getting now that you weren't getting was the secondary scoring has improved immensely. Patrick Kane has found his stride. He's also, like, you could see the effort difference from Lalonde to McClellan. Last night I saw him back checking, playing defense. He tried to block a couple shots, which is just pedestrian for Patrick Kane at this point in his career. But he's doing it. It seems like he is bought in again. And I'm hopefully that this secondary scoring output starts to affect Tarasenko, and we start to see more out of him. He's going to be crucial if we think that we're going to make the playoffs. But this team is playing a lot better and now shows life that they can do something like the Gritty Tigers did.
Yeah, Patrick Kane as well. Shout out to him. Got a golden assist last night as well.
Yeah, I saw the chat was also mentioning Patrick Kane and showing him some love. But Dante 151999 super chat. And this is in all caps. I don't even know if I can give this whole paragraph that type of energy. I want to, though. I'm fired up. He says the Lions are going to drop their nutsack on the Vikings. And the Wings only 4 points out of the final wildcard picture. Lions 45, Vikings 21. And the Pistons are going to get revenge tonight. Let's go.
Oh, that's right. Oh, please win tonight.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Please. Even without Jaden Ivey, they got to win tonight. And I've made it very, very clear. Whoever that Charlotte Hornets announcer is, a lot of people like him. I can't stand him,
bro.
That man gets hype when Miles Bridges hits a 15-foot jump shot to cut the lead to 10. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
KG, I see you over to shake your hand, man. What up?
You know I don't rock with dog, man. I mean, I know LaMelo hooping it all, bro, but we don't need to hear it from the commentary table, man. Just be biased commentary, which we know they are.
He
but
be sneak dissing, too,
it
man.
It is what it is. Yeah, he be sneak dissing.
Okay, come in. It's good to see him do this now. You know, he missed a lot of time before. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, man. What up,
we owe Charlotte.
What up, Steph?
I think we're going to get a win tonight.
Let's rock, man.
I'm feeling good about that.
Let's rock. But you know what? I do believe the Pistons will be able to keep up with that pace. But Mr. Chase, as it relates to the Red Wings, 3-game winning streak, and I know where your confidence lies because you talked about it already. But just to kind of expand out there on this 3-game winning streak, man, we seeing playoff hockey this year?
I certainly hope so. I think we got to wait and still continue to see how the team plays. Like I said before, we have a tough 14-game stretch. Obviously, they've answered the call really well in these first 4 games. I don't really count the game against Toronto, even though that was Todd McClellan's inaugural game as the Red Wings coach. He showed up in the building, was behind the bench, like a few hours before the start of the puck drop, and he basically was trying to coach a team he'd never really talked to before. So tough to do for anybody. And in the 3 games he has had time to work with the team, they've played really well. Sam and Justin have talked about a lot of the details a lot, so there's really not much more to double back on. But the effort there is incredible. Seeing the guys diving for loose pucks. The game winner last night, the effort play to get it to Berger and coming out of the penalty box, tucking it home for the game winner. That was awesome. So
you know what I love that I'm hearing from our puck heads is that you guys are seeing a difference in effort, a difference of these guys being in better positions, a difference in how the lineups are rocking right now. And those are the differences that a coach makes. It's similar what we see out of JB Bickerstaff right now with those Pistons. So, hey, you know what? Good on the Red Wings. Because I know one thing, whether we know everything we know about these sports or not, we love our teams, man. And when they're winning, man, it's amazing. I remember the days of the Red Wings heyday and just getting off the people mover It's just a sea of red and white everywhere, walking up those Joe Louis stairs, dog. And it's just like, man, let's get that back. We know how this city gets.
Let's get that back, and let's continue the good times if you're the Detroit Red Wings, because Chase did mention I'm looking a little bit ahead, and I'm seeing some really tough games, but I'm also seeing 4 out of the next 5 at home. I like that.
Hey,
I do like that. I'm seeing Chicago and I'm seeing San Jose. I'm just saying.
Let's keep the top magic rolling.
I know a little later I'm looking at Florida and at Tampa Bay and at Dallas and at Philly, but in the meantime, just continue to stack up these points.
Hey, you know what? Is it TLB time?
Yes.
Let's get it ready, KG.
Talk Lions, bitch.
Word to Matthew Broder. Hey, listen, want to know where the best pregame Lions party is for the season finale against the Vikings on January 5th? Woo! It's right around the corner. We want to see you guys there. The game is for the 1 seed in the home playoffs. 2 of them things right here in Detroit. Join us at Detroit's very own second best bar at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. this Sunday. That's what time we're getting things kicked off, all right? Located at 42 Watson Street, it's the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy a little bit of smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show. Only at second best bar. Come get some. You ain't fired up,
Walk into
don't
any
show
Lady
up.
Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network.
I like that just quick shot of Neil's O-face. But are you overdue for a new car? Beat the holiday rush and get an amazing deal from Les Stanford Chevrolet. Right now, a Blazer EV 2LT with all-wheel drive is only $149 per month. Or check out the Equinox EV LT for only $169 per month. Get to Les Stanford today or click on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Don't forget, Les Stanford has Cadillac, Buick, and GMC as well. Les Stanford in Dearborn and Ferndale, lesstanford.com.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you guys for kicking off today with the WUW Crew chat family, as always. You all are the most important part of all of this, and we're just going to get this thing started right now. Right now, we got to satisfy that like button. We are talking Lions. It is that time. So hit the like button. Y'all got to treat it right. You got to treat it nice.
Hey, treat that thing right.
There we go.
You know you got to treat it right, man. Just like we're going to treat them Vikings on Sunday, man. You got to lay them down real nice and real slow. Then just give them that like button. Just real like that, Y'all feel where I'm coming from, right?
Hey, you know what? I'm fired up, bro. 14-2, Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions. At the beginning of the season, I believed that the Vikings were going to cause the biggest threat, and I didn't think it was going to be this close. I thought this was going to be done by like week 12. Week 13, it was going to be in the bag. You could just kind of project which week is it going to be official. And no, No. Instead, Sam Darnold has played himself into MVP conversations. KOC has played himself into Coach of the Year candidacy, even though Dan Campbell is doing what he's doing to overcome all those injuries and such. And then even more than that, this is as close as you get to a play-in tournament game in the NFL because of all of the stakes. This is for the number 1 or the number 5 seed. This is for the NFC North title. This is for a bye week. This is for 2 home playoff games. This is crazy. I love in the show sheet, Flannel puts, we've never seen anything like this before. And just saying that, I'm sitting here like, wow, this has got to be one of the most highly anticipated regular season games ever. Think about how much weight is on this one particular game.
And I hate to bring up franchise histories when it comes to the Vikings and the Lions. Certainly when it comes to the Lions, franchise history doesn't apply to this team. However, we're talking about one team in the Lions who have had almost no success in the Super Bowl era up to this point, and a team in the Minnesota Vikings who have, at least back to the 70s and even now to more recent playoff times, have had some of their worst performances at the worst times, losing 4 Super Bowls, losing to the Atlanta Falcons in 1998 as big favorites with Gary Anderson missing a field goal, losing to a Daniel Jones-led Giants team, which is just something that continues to look worse and worse as time goes on, and something that we can point and laugh at them for. The reason why I bring that up is that these teams with these somewhat checkered histories in different ways, both of them are having 14-2 seasons, and one of them is going to probably have to go through the entire NFC playoffs or however long they should get there on the road. That's insane. Just think of last season for the Lions. They were 12-5, and they won that division easily. It was pretty much no doubt about it from damn near week 6 or 7 on. And this year, they have I don't want to say that the stakes are dire or anything like that, because both teams are going to the playoffs, but the 1 seed, especially in these modern playoffs over the last couple of years, the 1 seed is the only team that gets a first round bye, and they would get all of the playoff games at home. And I just know how much of an advantage it will be home games at Ford Field. It is like an absolute lion's den in there.
That's what Dan Campbell stated. He said that we know that it's a home field advantage, so he stated that that's why they have to win this game by any means necessary, so that they can utilize it, so they can't weaponize Detroit. It's like how fitting. I love it, man. It's so Detroit of us. And that the fans get to be a part of the action. You hear the team saying, we want you, and that you a part of the action, that you do make a difference. And the fact that they're going out there, so it's not just for Hutch, it's not just for Monty, it's also for Detroit. And Dan Campbell made that pledge on day one. That's why I like the fact that we start off here by actually parsing the fact that, do we recognize how big this is? Yes, both teams are going to the playoffs. Yeah. Yes, I still believe in the Detroit Lions' chances, even if they have to play an extra game, even if they have to go on the road. But in terms of everything and the magnitude of what they're playing for right now, the reason why it's even more imperative, and we all know this, the injury issues. You want to not just get guys back and get guys healthy, but what if you play one less game? That means one less game where there's an opportunity to get hurt. Yeah. So it's just like, in this one, it's just got to be straight up balls to the walls. That's the only way, like what Dante said. If you drop in nutsacks on the Vikings, shout out to Dante, it's got to be that way. That's what I love about Dan. When he stepped to the podium and said, we got to win this game any way it's necessary, I don't care how it looks, I was just like, what is he playing? Like, did anybody else hear that? Like, my ears was like, oh snap! They putting on the skull caps and all of that. It's that type of energy now.
The one thing I will say is when I hear him say by any means necessary, part of me also thinks that there might be moments in this game where you maybe give up a deep touchdown to Justin Jefferson and we're all freaking out, but that doesn't matter. It just matters that you get the win, because in my opinion, the Lions moving forward with their injuries are still a team that has some flaws. If they were fully healthy, they'd be damn near as close to perfect as a possible, but they have some ways that they are gettable. But one of the ways that you can counteract that is by playing 2 games at home, by getting that bye, by having an opportunity to, what if your offense which is relatively healthy, of course, minus a Monty and a Khalif, but who knows with Monty in the divisional round. But for 2 games at home, I could see the offense, which is the healthier unit, maybe doing a carry job That to me doesn't sound crazy. Doing it 3 times on the road seems a little bit more difficult, and then by the time the Super Bowl gets here, you could get even more reinforcements.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what, Steph? You did tee up the question in the beginning of the show, and save your game prediction.
Oh, yeah.
But I definitely want to know what your feeling is right now about this game on Sunday night. All of the stakes, man. This is actually pretty cool. As much as I would have rather them had this thing locked up earlier.
Me too.
Hey, we're in the spotlight right now.
2 words. Cautiously optimistic.
Let's go.
So those are the 2 words that I have. I think out of the 2 quarterbacks in this game, the most important position, Jared Goff has the most experience, so I would lean on that. And I just think that Sam Darnold, this would be to date the biggest game of his career. So I think that the lights would be a little bit too bright for him, and the moment would be a little bit too big. And he turns into the pumpkin, finally. I mean, I just got to be honest about that. Like, this would be the biggest game that he's ever seen. And it'll be at our home stadium. And you know the way that our fans are. We've never been in this situation before, ever.
I mean, it's a night game. It's possible that the clock could strike midnight during the fourth quarter.
You understand? So that's definitely my feeling towards the game. Jared Goff is the one that's been to the Super Bowl.
That's a hell of a point.
Not Sam Darnold.
And that's I do understand that point, because on one hand, I think this is a both things can be true thing.
Yeah.
I get a little bit irritated at some of the people who just dismiss what Sam Darnold has done this season because he's had a great year. Nobody can take that away from him. But on the other hand, I don't hate the idea of, in a game for not all the marbles, but for the 1 seed at Ford Field, Sunday Night Football, how the fact that the Vikings quarterback is Sam Darnold makes me a little bit less worried than if it was somebody like, I don't know, Matthew Stafford for example, because prior to this season, Sam Darnold was seen as a draft bust. And this year he has had a great season. But in this one game, it wouldn't shock me at all if he makes a play or two that has Vikings fans scratching their head and could be the difference in the game.
Yeah, and you know why? They shouldn't be scratching their head. If he makes that 1 or 2 mistakes, it's going to be because of, I know we're going to break down, the offense, the defense, and such, but it's going to be because we have guys that force those types of mistakes.
That's fair.
So that's the thing. Sometimes people look at the fact that, man, why are they doing all of this to Justin Jefferson? Look, why would he get the targets? You know why I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and has a day? It's because they're going to dare Sam Darnold to, 1, throw it to him every single time, 2, be perfect every single time, but 3, they know that offensive coordinators aren't going to do that. So now you're going to have some plays where you're forced to throw in an area with Iffy and Kirby standing there like, hey. And we saw that against the 49ers. They were forced into it. You could have kept Mawson or tried to pick one on this side, but for some reason, these teams continue to play by the rules. That's why Dan Campbell was just like, I don't care if y'all think I should go for it on 4th or not. I don't care if y'all think I should double Justin Jefferson or not. These people haven't beaten us.
Yep.
Period. So something's working here. Something's wrong. And just so you know, that's DJ High Def Steph,
What's going
official
on?
Pistons DJ, because I
Thank
saw some
you.
people that are in the chat. This is why I like to tee this up sometimes, break to break. Sometimes we have new people. Official DJ of the Pistons, Motor City Cruise, Michigan State, corporate stuff.
Wayne State, Detroit City Football Club. Yeah, bunch of stuff, man. Appreciate y'all having me. Thank y'all for tuning in to me today.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you. Obviously, you guys know that dude, Justin Kavasi. And today is Chase GPT. But that's why for me, it's just like, you know what? Man, there's so much on this game, but I'm really comfortable, especially as we have these conversations. I got to get the elite booth in here before we move to the next segment. KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. What up, though, brother?
Hey, you already know how I feel, man. This is, and I know Sam, like, oh, we just want the hardest path. No, I just have a very good belief in my team that we are going to get it done, man. Now, even if, unfortunately, we got to go on the road.
It ain't right.
No, you took it from me. I literally was about to say, to piggyback your point is, Chauncey, but if it ain't rough, it ain't right. I say that all the time because it's true.
It's real.
100%.
And this Lions team, we already know they know how to face adversity. So if the cars fall and they got to go to the 5 seed and go on the road, then, hey, we got to strap up. We got to do it. But I really feel like the Lions got this in the bag coming Sunday, man, because y'all spoke to the experience of Sam Darnold. But I just think that this Lions coaching staff, this roster, this team, this is a team that we saw before. And aside from a late David Montgomery fumble in that first game, they really had control of that game throughout after the second quarter. So I think that they are well prepared for everything they need to deal with. People forget that they were dealing with injury around that time. That was the first game without Hutch and some of the other players that we had already been missing. We've been depleted for a majority of the season. So injuries don't really factor into that for me right now. You got to find ways to get it done. And listen, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be pretty, but by any means necessary. 1 or 2 stops could mean this game. So
you know what? 3-on-3
done.
Thug Boss. If they win this game, JB Smooth, this has to be the shirt. We ain't leaving Ford Field, bruh.
So we stand
I like that, though.
I like that.
I really like that, though.
That.
I'm gonna have to pass that on the stick, man. Like that's fire. That's a fire shirt idea right there for sure. But dude, Sunday is about to be a cinematic masterpiece right now. I have never seen the Lions be promoted on TV for a full week like they have right now for this one game. There's so much tension going on as well too. Dan Campbell said it himself. We just got to go out there and win. No matter what, no matter who's hurt, no matter who's going to be out there playing as well too. They just have to go out there and just absolute win. Like I said, there's tension going on as well too between Ben Johnson and Brian Flores. Even though no one wants to talk about it, there's still a little bit of tension out there as well too. So I definitely believe he's got something cooked up that he is about to torch this Vikings defense. Like I said, it's about to be.
So you tell me his well is about to be Lily Phillips deep.
Oh Lord,
that's pretty deep.
Lord.
It ain't tight, but it's deep.
I'm not gonna comment on it.
Right. The future heroine at it.
Yes. I don't want her to be one. It's just I think she's making poor lifestyle choices. That's all.
OnlyFans is a gateway to heroin. So
No, but to piggyback off his point though, I think Dan Campbell does a good job, and then I think we just been getting kind of lucky too, where every week is something that just motivate the team. I think last week against San Francisco, we owed them that.
Yeah,
we owed them that BTA,
and
so we went out there, we punched them in the mouth. They hit back, and then we ended up winning the game. This week, I think Kirby Joseph is going to be way more motivated this week, so I think he's going to make a big play, getting snubbed for the Pro Bowl.
People say his pockets, man. It was money he missed out on.
Come on, man. He should have been on the Pro Bowl. You lead the league in interceptions, man. I don't even know if that's ever happened. Like where somebody led the league in picks and didn't make the Pro Bowl. He'll be first team All Pro. He should be.
He should be.
Yes.
He better be.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, JB Smooth, let's tell the people about New Holland.
Oh, of course.
And yeah, because I'm fired up, bro. I want to get back to the Lions talk. I'm sitting here like, wait, no, be on schedule. All right.
Let's go. That New Holland Brewing Company, it's Tangerine Space Machine, the new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy, but refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon. The official beer of outer space, so you know it's on tap on the moon right now for you. Brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan, so you know you can support locally. Grab yourself a case of this intergalactic haze of goodness this weekend and chill and watch the Lions.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Planet Fitness, where it's fitness that fits your budget. And you know what? They've got 50-plus Metro Detroit locations, and it is the best gym in the gym game. You can get a cheap membership at only $15 per month if you just have a home Planet Fitness that you want to go to actually honor your New Year's resolutions. And you should, because Beachbody season will be here before you know it. Or you could upgrade to the Black Card for $24.99 a month with the greatest amenity to me being the ability to go to any Planet Fitness across the world. So no matter where you are, there would be a Planet Fitness probably somewhat nearby where you could go to. So there are no excuses to not get your workout in. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential. Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's TLB. You guys already know. Friday's show, the last show before the next Detroit Lions game. I got on my 51 clothing today, man. Shout out to Devin the dog. Got the Lions cap on. We're talking Lions. And you know what? We're going to talk about one pretty big return. I know all year we've been excited about some of these reinforcements, but has there been one as big as this one? Alex Anzalone, full participant at practice. At the very least. Was it full yesterday? I believe it was full. Yeah. Full participant at practice. And now, whether he plays in the Minnesota Vikings game or not, we know that we have Alex Anzalone back. Is he? Has it been confirmed that he is a go yet?
I don't know if it's been confirmed, but there's a reason why I worded the question specifically. What would an Alex Anzalone return mean for the Lions this week? I wish that I could say he's back. What does it mean? But the fact that he participated in full, I think, is a pretty good sign that he's going to play. And honestly, the fact that he's practicing full this week, so I'm assuming he's going to be back in full for the playoffs at the very least. That is absolutely huge. But for the Vikings, to me, when I look at Alex Anzalone potentially being back, I think it's key for him when it comes to two Vikings players in particular. One being Aaron Jones, who had a good game against the Lions the last time they played, and the other being TJ Hawkinson. I feel a lot more comfortable with Anzalone being out there getting the snaps instead of a Ben Neiman or Jalen Reeves-Maben combination. Respect to those guys, they've done their job when they've been in, but Alex Anzalone's a different animal. I think he could be potentially huge in terms of stopping the run, in terms of being a guy who could cover an Aaron Jones out of the backfield, because Aaron Jones does that very well. I like Alex Anzalone being out there. And even when it comes to TJ Hawkinson, who the Lions did not have to face in the last matchup, having Alex Anzalone in the middle, maybe even getting some coverage snaps on TJ Hawkinson. I'm not saying that that's the most ideal matchup, but as far as linebackers on this team, I would want Alex Anzalone over anybody else, including Jack Campbell in that capacity. So you've seen in some games, like the Buffalo Bills game, you could even say in the 49ers game, particularly because Kittle went off as well. Those are games where you're like, man, I wonder where a good coverage linebacker who's just good all around is. I wish we had one of those. We just might this week, and we definitely will during the playoffs. So an Alex Anzalone return could be the difference in Super Bowl or not. I know that sounds hyperbolic, but it's Alex freaking Anzalone.
And I just sent you something, JB. Whether we can get it played now or not, it's one of those clips that we always talk about when we have our opponents crying, and it was Justin Fields talking about Alex Anzalone, and they were just like, man, yeah, bro, he just be doing extra stuff. And then you see Equanimous start to chime in too. It's like, yo, y'all really crying about a football player who's beating you guys to a bloody pulp. Like just chill, man. It's either step up or just sit down. It's football, and he's not being flagged or he's not being fined like as if he's a dirty player. So what are you guys really complaining about? The fact that he brings the hammer. The fact that you got that. Let's play that real quick. Shout out to the 33rd. Shout out to the 33rd team, man.
Y'all got some dirty players on your team. I'm not gonna cap,
bro. No, we don't.
I know we don't. Look, bro.
Who's dirty? Who is
34,
dirty?
Bro. Anzalone, bro.
34 is not dirty.
Anzalone, bro. He be doing a little bit too much extra stuff for me, dog.
He just plays hard. That's how we're taught. We're gritty.
I'm cool with that. But all the extra stuff, I'm cool with that. Like, tackle me, boom. All right, get up.
I'm sorry, I had a whole
You're doing
point.
extra, bro. Y'all doing too much.
Amon-Ra, what do you mean? We're gritty. Like,
Right.
but that's the thing. It's like when you talk about Alex Anzalone, we got our opponents literally crying and complaining about our defenders that are going to play. That's what excites me about him being back. And it's this. It's not like he hurt the legs or anything of that nature. So him coming back, he still has the opportunity to cover, still have the speed, sideline to sideline that he's had all season. I assume that he was still staying in shape. Even when he broke the forearm, he just walked off. Like, I'm like, bro, man, you don't even have a tear. You broke your arm. And he's just like, yeah, it's broke. As if, yep, demon time right now. And that's why Vikings, if he's out there on that field, be worried. Straight up.
Yeah.
It's such a big return. As I said before, that Buffalo Bills game, I'm not saying I mean, Josh Allen was on a heater of all heaters, but I do think it would have been more difficult for him to. At least I think that Alex Anzalone could have done a better job on a Ty Johnson than someone like Quan Alexander did. I mean, I think Ty Johnson just caught another pass. But and as I mentioned before with San Francisco, George Kittle, as I unfortunately predicted, he went off in a way. And I think Alex Anzalone just being there as that coverage linebacker makes it a little bit more difficult. And going into the Vikings, there are matchups in which, I mean, the Vikings, let's just say it, they have a very talented offense with some players that can beat us. And Alex Anzalone could be somebody who neutralizes said players. And that's absolutely huge. We're talking about a 1 seed. We're talking about the playoffs where you're going to have to play some defense. Alex Anzalone being back is hopefully just the first in line of important players that as they continue to go on in the playoffs, more reinforcements start to come. But Alex Anzalone being the first reinforcement, that's like a chicken soup for the soul.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And you know, what I do love about him, I know we're going to talk about some of this stuff down the line as well, is with some of the issues on that defensive line, and you talk about the need to be able to cover running backs in general, whether stopping the run or stopping them out of the backfield. This is where I am excited to have Alex Anzalone back. Not that it's a referendum on Jack Campbell because he was holding it down, but we do know that you need help as a linebacker, and to be able to have one that can assist in the ways that we know Alex Anzalone can, the ways that we hear people are afraid to be tackled by him now. He's like, yeah, but he tackled me and don't let me get up.
Come on now.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just like, this is it. We already know. Vikings fans already are crying about Kirby Joseph. They're already all over their social media, even in our own chats, and now they're gonna be crying about Alex Anzalone, and then they're gonna be crying about Ife Melifonwu. Then they're gonna be crying. This is just what it is, and this is why you said it earlier. Yeah. The Lions are effectively that team that is going to. You knock us down, we are not out of it. You're literally going to have to pull out that big musket energy and bang, bang, bang. That's the only way. And the Vikings haven't proven to be that team that can put these Lions away, even when our defense is depleted.
And think about this. That win that the Lions had against the Vikings, and I know it doesn't apply much to right now, just think about how huge it was for the trajectory of the Lions season, because that was the first game after Aiden Hutchinson. We were all heartbroken for a couple of days. We didn't know what it was going to look like. And I'm not saying that the defense looked the same right away, but the fact that they were able to get that win, the fact that the Lions were able to actually get back in first place in the division and have the tiebreaker, that was huge. That really catapulted the Lions through that stretch where they continued on that win streak that would eventually get to 11 games. So that's just one of those turning point moments in the season. And I love the fact, both for just the story of it and for what it does in the standings, that it happened against the Minnesota Vikings. Your first game back without Aiden Hutchinson, going into an undefeated Minnesota team and beating them still, huge for this season. And hopefully they get another win on Sunday. I'll give my prediction later, but I got the smile on my face, so you can maybe imply some things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? We got a lot more of this game to break down. I'm glad that we started where we did as it relates to just the magnitude of this game, and then some of the biggest news, really the second half of the season as it relates to reinforcements. It is Alex Anzalone being back. And so I hope he is out there against the Vikings. I want them to have so much more to think about, because you talk about part of this being the mental aspect of the game. If your opponents are already crying or already thinking or already that, then what? Think about the whole Stafford stuff, and you went the whole offseason doing that stuff just to what?
Throw a pick to Kirby in the end zone.
There you go. Mm-hmm. You know what? Let's get to that. Let's get to it's just it. Are you concerned about the Lions secondary? There's the transition right there. We're about to talk about this Lions secondary, the matchup. I am excited about the secondary right now.
Hey.
Iffy, another week to get healthy. You know what? Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. A piss off Kirby Joseph.
I like that. I like that. There's a couple others in the secondary, though. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, I have to tell you about Woodward and
One of them
Maine
is talking.
and the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. Hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions, with insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward and Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, you have to go on to the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. It's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show hosted by these extraordinary gentlemen right there.
The Vikings suck hard.
Oh my. Neil Rule will be generational in terms of his release on Sunday if the Lions win. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Belegian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. Your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Did somebody say merge? Head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. I got to start working on that. We're not leaving Ford Field shirts as soon as Sunday ends. I'm telling you right now, new designs every single week for you. We got the Civilian 16. We got Dan Campbell's speech, and we got the Roll Pride Detroit shirts as well, too. I don't give a piss about nothing but the pride, and that's it. woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab, get swagged out.
Hey, what up, dope people? It's Wake Up Woodward, and you know what? We got to talk about this secondary. As much as this defense has been decimated by injuries, the secondary, you know what? Carlton Davis still out, one of those. Yeah. But they do have some reinforcements in the way of like an Iffy Melifonwu who's come back. Yeah. He's been able to lay the boom a couple times, still getting his feet under him. But the secondary is going to be tested. Is Addison, you got Justin Jefferson, and you got Sam Darnold, who's done a good job at finding them down the field. But I'm bullish about this secondary. I think that the way they play aggressively, The way that they bring the boom as it relates to these hits across the middle of the field, are they going to give him some chunk yards? Yes, but they're going to force Sam Darnold to have to be perfect. And I think that that's where the game is going to be won or lost. But I want to be able to hear from your perspective because I know that you stated, I called out the safeties. You said, but there's a whole lot more in the secondary. Talk to the people, brother.
There's more in the secondary. And if we're just being honest, and I'm not trying to be doomsday or anything like that because they won their last 2 games, but the secondary hasn't looked the same since Carlton Davis has been out. And that's not a hot take. We all knew that it would. When you lose as many players as you do on defense, you become bend but don't break, whereas if they were healthy, I honestly think they could be a dominant defense, and Aiden Hutchinson would have definitely won Defensive Player of the Year, but that's another story for another day. We got to deal with what is and not what could be. Was anybody else a little bit alarmed at looking at Ricky Pearsall's stat line after the game and looking at Ricky Pearsall continue to carve the Lions secondary up? I'm not saying that it's the end-all be-all, but Ricky Pearsall literally had his personal coming out party against the Lions secondary. And I'm looking at a receiving core that has Justin Jefferson, who, in my opinion, is still the best in the game, Jordan Addison, who's a damn good number 2 wide receiver, and TJ Hawkinson, who the Vikings did not have in the last game. I think it's going to be tough. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Lions give up between 27 and 30 points. And that's why I think it's imperative for the Lions that offensively they're tight and they're efficient, which we'll talk about later. And also, I think what could be the difference in the game, I think the Lions in this game, they need to get an interception.
Oh, yeah.
The good news is that last time the Vikings played the Lions, Sam Darnold threw one to Brian Branch, which allowed the Lions to take a 21-10 lead at halftime. This week, it could be Branch again. It could be Kirby getting his 10th of the year, which would be amazing. It could be Iffy, who got one against the Vikings Vikings last year, although that was off of Nick Mullins. I think this is one where you're going to have to be bend but don't break. You're probably going to give up at least 100 yards to Justin Jefferson. You just need to create that back-breaking turnover, and I believe that they will. I think this defense is going to look somewhat similar to how they looked against San Francisco, but that it should be enough for the Lions to still get a win, which is a game in which you win by any means necessary. I don't give a damn if it's 38-35.
Yep.
Win the damn game.
Yeah, and then because how many times have we heard people say things like, "Oh man, but you barely beat this, but I don't care." Right now, we're in a position because we won the games, right? It's funny how, hey, just win by any means necessary. It's any given Sunday, but when the Lions do that, all of a sudden, that's going to be another point that people are going to try to utilize to knock them off. Even when they win, they're still using that to try and disenfranchise the Lions. And that's where, in this game, I do believe it's going to be one of those by any means necessary. But I do believe our offense, it's just far better than their offense. I do believe this is one where the Lions are going to win this one, not necessarily going away, but with a comfortable fashion. And it does happen to go hand in hand with what our secondary is able to do to be able to create turnovers. If the offense is doing what it's doing as it relates to controlling the time of possession, then 1 or 2 turnovers swings the complexity of this game tremendously. Yeah. And that's where, looking at the secondary and hoping that they can get one or two of those turnovers, it becomes very vital because you have to believe that Justin Jefferson is going to go off in this game.
And I forgot the name of him, but there was a Vikings fan who went on the heavyweights the other night, and he was actually it was a very, very good conversation. One bar. Thank you, Chase. And he said something that and he's a Vikings fan, and he watches every game. He knows the Vikings better than any of us do. He said something that should have all Lions fans' ears perked up. We all know Sam Darnold is having a great year. Nobody has been a bigger proponent of that this year at this network than I have. While some have disrespected, I've been like, Sam Darnold's actually pretty good. But one thing that One Bar said, and you saw it against the Packers, even when they got ahead, and it, in a way, kind of let the Packers back in the game. He said that Sam Darnold always throws at least one pass per game where you're just like, what the F are you thinking? One of those turnover-worthy throws. And Sam Darnold does have 12 interceptions this season. So you've got a guy in Sam Darnold who's been good, but a little reckless at times. And then you've got a guy in Kirby Joseph for the Lions who is the best ball hawk in the game. That, to me, is a pretty good formula for at least one interception. And I think that is all that it will take. Because, spoiler alert, I don't think Jared Goff will throw one. And Sam Darnold, I think he just might.
And you know what? Why not though? You know why not? And that's where it does. I at first was on one leading all the way up to this game. And then all of a sudden, you get into, all right, let's break it down. And it's like, the recipe that these Detroit Lions have consistently put out there is that one fact. You know what? They're going to get the turnovers. They're going to create this thing. It was amazing to hear Dan Campbell come out of the tunnel and talk about, well, we've got to create some turnovers in it. Johnny on the spot, Carlton Davis. And I get it. How much can this team overcome? How much can this team step up? When they went into the offseason and they brought in multiple secondary options, even though last year we saw them survive with a whole lot less, that's what makes me confident going into this game. Even without a Carlton Davis, who we know, would you rather have him out there? I would much rather have Carlton Davis out there for this game against the Vikings. But am I confident in what Aaron Glenn can do? Am I confident in what ball hawks can do out there like Kirby Joseph, like Brian Branch? Am I confident in having Ife Melifonwu another week under his belt? You know what I'm saying? I'm very confident playing the team that last year and around these same moments, being able to play such a big role to seal off the Detroit Lions winning the division. Well, I don't know. I like the secondary's chances to go out there and be one of the biggest difference makers in this game for the Detroit Lions.
I think it'll have to be the safeties. I think that's the key of the game. That a safety has to make a big play, or obviously we're counting Brian Branch as a safety as well, although he's going to play some slot corner. Yeah. I think that one of the differences in this game, just full disclosure, I don't think Amik or Terrion can cover Justin Jefferson. I think both of them will have trouble covering Jordan Addison. However, Kevin O'Connell does move those guys around. You see Justin Jefferson line up in the slot, which I think he's unstoppable no matter where he goes. But if he lines up Jordan Addison in the slot, I'm confident that Brian Branch can cover Jordan Addison in those parameters. And if I'm KOC, I'm lining up Addison and Jefferson out wide all game, but he doesn't do that. That's not what their game plan is. You see them being moved around, and that to me is a key in the game. Brian Branch, do your best lockdown job in the slot. Make sure that Jordan Addison doesn't kill you from there. Make sure that, unlike last week with the Packers, that someone like Jalen Naylor doesn't get loose, which was unbelievable. I mean, former Spartan dog. So the safety play, Ife Melifonwu, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, to me, those are three of the biggest keys in this game to a potential victory.
Yeah, and you know what? I do got to ask KG.
Absolutely.
Listen, you were one of the ones, you have been very, very consistent with Terrion Arnold. And obviously, when we talk about the secondary up against the Vikings, the one name that we know is going to probably get that attention from the Vikings and from fans is going to be Terrion Arnold. How are you feeling about TA heading into this matchup? The biggest game of his career right now.
Yeah, he just needs to do his job, man, and we'll be fine. Now, listen, Justin Jefferson is going to get his. I mean, every time they play the Lions, Justin Jefferson seems to go off.
Set the expectations for the
people.
So,
I mean, it just is what it is, man, but it's not about yards at this point. I can't stress that enough. The stats are not going to matter in this game as long as they are not giving up 6 points on some of these drives. This game could literally come down to 1 or 2 stops could win you the game. So, overall, you're going to have to rely on your secondary. They're going to get beat because of just where we're at right now as a defense and just what we have available to us, man. I think a bigger issue is, okay, Justin Jefferson can get his, but Jalen Naylor, you got to be able to stop him. Jordan Addison, you have to be able to stop him. TJ Hawkinson, we can't just let him live in the middle of the field on our defense all day. So if you find ways to limit those guys, let Justin Jefferson have what he wants. But overall, I feel like this secondary will be able to make plays in crucial moments of the game when they need to.
And you know why? Because when you look at how they beat the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
It's all of this single cover, single cover, single cover, single. Whoa. Game stealing interception in zone. You see what I'm saying? Remember we talked about the way Aaron Glenn, for whatever reason, it's like he's playing chess. So it's like, okay, you take a couple pawns, you take my knight, you take my rook. But then all of a sudden it's like, ping, 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 ping. We just took your touchdown away. Sorry, we got Kirby Joseph. You know what I mean? It's
key.
like that's the equalizer there. And that's the component of it. So, hey, look, Terrion Arnold, go out there and play your best if you're in one-on-one coverage, if they're trying to pick on you. But then all of a sudden, all you need, right? We talk about manufacturing that one. I'm sorry, when you have to force Sam Darnold to throw into our safeties, it's not that I don't think he's a good quarterback, it's that now you're playing the best safeties in the game. Now you got Alex Anzalone and Jack Campbell back. I'm sorry, I want to one day take a look at all the other linebacker rooms across the NFL, but I like our linebacker room. I like those two. So that's what I'm saying. Now you're having to, when Aaron Glenn decides you think you're getting man coverage, and then boom, no, you're getting sacked by Brian Branch, or if you're coming off the edge. Oh, you think you get man coverage, but then no, boom, it's a zone, and now you're throwing an interception to Kirby just sitting there like, cradle it like a baby. That's what I love. And so it's going to have to be an Aaron Glenn day, even though the offense is going to have to make sure they put those points up.
I didn't even that's one thing that I'm glad you mentioned. Aaron Glenn, this is a big day for him because there are some matchups, as I said before, and this is no disrespect to the Lions players. If I'm Justin Jefferson and I see Terrion Arnold across from me, I'm licking my chops. And the same with Amik Robertson. But remember, Justin Jefferson is the best in the game. He does that to a lot of people. But it's not Aaron Glenn is going to have to, he's probably going to bring some exotic blitzes. He's going to switch off between man and zone. And that's what you have to do because everybody knows that the Lions aren't going to give up 17 points to this Vikings team. It's about the key stops. It's about the turnover. Yep. It's about the forcing the Vikings to kick field goals. It's about stopping the run as well, which we're going to talk about more later. It's going to be bend but don't break, but as long as the offense can score and as long as the Lions defense allows at least a field goal or two and picks the ball off one time, I think they'll be fine.
You know what? And that's been the recipe for a lot of their wins.
Yeah.
You know what? Shout out Randall Smalls, $10 super chat every game. Since we lost Hutch, AG has made adjustments. Same goes rest of the year. Branch and Iffy is going to blitz this week early and often. And you know what? That sounds good.
Yes.
It sounds good.
Might have to.
Hey, let's get into this next segment because we got to talk about the run game. Got to talk about the run game and who's going to be more effective. I might be biased, but he gives me very, very good reason to be. We'll talk about it. At Lady Jane's, we take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage. Y'all know you got to get the hot lather neck shave and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, and all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, they will put it right back into your account with no questions asked. I'm dead serious about this. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. There's 2 bowl games on today. Come on, guys. Make some money today.
Hey, make some money. You guys already know JB Smooth, the voice of reason. He got you guys covered. Make some money, man. Support Caesars. It's almost like supporting yourself as well. And while you have the opportunity, use that code Woodward and you guys will be able to better secure your interests. But you know what? I'm stoked, not scared when we talk about these Detroit Lions. I'm sitting here right now looking at these stats for these running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs on one side of this, and he's effectively, I want to call him the top running back in the league, but there's some guys that are out there putting up some pretty good stats. But you got Aaron Jones on the other side of this thing, who's a little bit more pedestrian, but we understand what he means to this offense, and he's been able to help open up the offense just a little bit more for Sam Darnold. And just to kind of call out the yards just before we get into this thing, he has 5 touchdowns on the season, 245 carries, just shy of 1,100 yards. That puts him 10th in the league. For Aaron Jones, when you look at the Jahmyr Gibbs on the other side, this is what I love. When you talk about all of these other running backs and the stats they have, the carries are always 20 to 50 higher than what Jahmyr Gibbs have. When you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, 227 carries, which is crazy. That's 16th in the league. Mind you, Aaron Jones is 9th in the league with carries. Yards, 1,273 rushing yards. That's 6th in the league. He's almost 200 and so many yards above Aaron Jones on about 20 or 30 less carries, man. Touchdowns 13. So we got to talk about it though. Whose run game do you believe is going to be more effective in this match between the Lions and the Vikings? Like I said, maybe I'm biased, but I believe that one candidate gives me the opportunity to be rightfully biased.
No, you're not biased. It's the Lions to me as well. And I'm not minimizing David Montgomery being out, and this Vikings run defense has been a good run defense, so this is going to be a challenge. We've seen what Jahmyr Gibbs has done in the last 2 games without David Montgomery as his backfield mate, and he has absolutely thrived. But the Vikings run defense, I got respect for them. They have had a heck of a year defending the run, but Jahmyr Gibbs, it's funny because I could tell you wanted more than anything to call him the best running back in the league. I don't think you can do that, but you can argue that he's third after Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. You could argue he's third. You could probably argue a couple of the other players, but if I'm being a little bit biased, I might put Jahmyr Gibbs at third with the season that he's had. 5.6 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns, almost 500 receiving yards. Jahmyr Gibbs he's got next, as I've said before. I said at the beginning of the season that I think moving forward, you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs and you're going to see Bijan Robinson basically run the league when it comes to running backs. And Jahmyr Gibbs has done his part. He's spectacular. And the good news, too, is I think having Alex Anzalone back will help neutralize an Aaron Jones. Just having another guy out there who's your captain, who's your green dot, who flies around the field, who has been an effective run stopper for the last couple of years. Give me the Lions rushing offense, even without David Montgomery, having the advantage over the Vikings rushing offense.
Absolutely, and we've seen Jahmyr Gibbs already now be able to handle that type of a workload. And honestly, it gives the offense such a dynamic look. And the other reason why I'm very, very confident is we've seen, the other running backs in this room be able to carry whatever the Detroit Lions are asking them to do. Going out there and getting 4.5 yards a carry with Craig Reynolds, and being a guy that can go out there and get you your 3 or your 4 yards, punch it through in some, 1 or 2 yard situations where you're trying to get that first down, or be a perfect decoy. One of the other things I liked about Craig Reynolds, I don't know if it was the J-Mo touchdown, I believe it was, but Craig Reynolds laid a serious block on it. And that's what I mean. It's like, you know what? When we just talking about the running back room in general, Detroit Lions by a mile. And then when we talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, by maybe just him, you know what? Detroit Lions by 2 miles. Because that's the type of player he is. It's not just what he's doing running the ball, but the threat he is as a weapon. When he checks out of there and you realize as a linebacker, crap, it's a play action. I'm sorry, you're done. You're done. That's what we saw. And I get it. They're going to try and scheme up things to try and stop that. But how do you? Because then what's Jared Goff going to do? Hey, J-Mo, take the top off. Amon-Ra, cut across the field. And that's what we talk about. No team has been able to realistically line up and stop this. The only team that did the best job of it was the Buccaneers. And we all identified this because offensively, they didn't play true to their identity. And since then, we've only seen them go out there and make statements offensively. And that's where, as a running back room, and when we zero in on just Jahmyr Gibbs in general, I believe he's this equalizer. There's times where it looks like he's supposed to even run between the tackles. I'm like, well, that's not there. And then what is it? Bounces to the outside for 3, 4, 5 yards instantly.
You talking about Nelly?
Huh?
You talking about Nelly?
Nelly, talk to me.
Hey, Nelly with the Band-Aid, I mean, he goes crazy. I mean, that's the future best running back in the NFL, no doubt about it. He is so versatile, and he creates so much pressure on opposing defenses. Every time he touches the ball, it's like the Jameson Williams effect, where you move up in your seat, you're like, ooh, all right, Jahmyr Gibbs got the ball, let's get going. But the way that he has just elevated his game to run through the tackles better, to be more physical since Monty has gone down, has only speaks to how good he truly is and how he can be a lead running back, and he will be a lead running back at one point. It's just a matter of time before he truly ascends to being the best running back in the NFL. He could put up those Saquon Barkley numbers. He could put up those Derrick Henry numbers. He has that potential. This is still only his second year in the NFL, and he is doing this. That is crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. KG,
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs, this running back room. You got Aaron Jones, the Vikings running back room. I feel like it's going to be a clean sweep, but I still want you to talk your talk. Bro.
I mean, what are we talking about? It's just Aaron Jones, and no offense to him, but he's not what he once was. He's been okay for the Vikings, but he's been a little banged up along the way, and he's had a lot of underperformances. And let's just be real about it. The Minnesota Vikings win games by putting the football in the air. They cannot win the football game by strictly running the football, but the Lions can. The Lions have the best offensive line in football. The Lions can absolutely dominate you with the run game. So we all know who's the better back here, and Jahmyr Gibbs has done a great job. He's becoming a more and more complete back in front of our eyes, and I do believe that his future is to be the true soul back in this backfield. But as of right now, I mean, he's filling in for where, in the areas that Monty fell off, and they've been utilizing other backs as well. Craig Reynolds, he was pretty good last week. Sione Vaki has gotten touches here and there, but it's all going to be on Gibbs, man. So if Gibbs can effectively run the ball and open up the play action for the Lions offense, I think that only bodes well, because J-Mo is somebody who I think could be an X factor. But you are going to have to work the ground. You're going to have to work the trenches, soften up that Vikings defense, and maybe give J-Mo some opportunities, because in that first game, he only got one target. That was right after the suspension. Don't know if that was on purpose or not, but he needs to be involved in this game plan, and in order to do that, the play action needs to be there. So Gibbs is going to be relied upon on the ground.
Man, and when we talk about the running game, how much I kind of want to see them do a few more end arounds, or at least fake those types of things to keep that Vikings defense just a little bit off balance. I really do. And you're right. When you talk about having a weapon like Jameson Williams, when we talk about the running game, I just kind of center focus it on just the running backs. But we've seen Jameson Williams be very, very, very big weapon in the running game. We know that every time the ball touches his hands, that could go for 20, 30, 40 yards, whether it's a catch or whether it is a run. And so when you hear Ben Johnson say the things that he says, and you talk about how important this game is, do you empty the bag? If you're Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson this week, because you understand what it gets you, and then you get a couple home games after some rest?
Yeah.
Or because that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting, especially with the little smirk, I'm expecting Ben Johnson to go in there and say, I told you I have a very, very deep well.
Yeah.
Call it.
If that's true, you got to put it all on the line. There's no guarantee we'll see the Vikings again. If we do, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But what you holding on to it for? Everything is on the line right now. The first seed, the NFC North, you got to go out there and give them all that you have, man. And if we wind up facing them again, fine. But just right now, everything's on the line right now. I don't think either coach will hold anything back, but especially Ben Johnson, who just seems to be drawing these things up every single week.
Bro, the maniacal smile, bro. I love I'm sorry, I love that type of stuff. But the real K77, $4.99 super chat. Gibbs is going to rush for over 125 yards.
Not mad at it.
Book it.
You know what? Yes. yes. I don't think I was going to make that prediction on my own, but you know what? I'll go ahead and piggyback, because that's not outside the realm of possibility. He might get almost half of it on one play. I would love that.
JB Smooth Talk, you'll talk about one Sonic, a.k.a. Jahmyr Gibbs, because he's fast, man.
He's just fast. He makes other people not look so fast. It's Sonic. I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs 10 times out of 10 as the best back in this game right now as it is. And as you said, Kuwait, giving him more opportunity, more touches, that's going to soften up this Vikings defense to where they're going to have to want to try and play closer to that line. And next thing you know, you're going to go a deep ball to J-Mo. And you know what? It's written in the stars, man. It's all history from there. I'm saying I also think he's going to be a little bit salty because of last week. He didn't get off to that hot start, but still had a very productive day as well, too. So I definitely think this Sunday will be his productive day. 125 yards is realistic.
Man, I can't wait. High def stuff. You know what? Take us to the next segment real quick, man. We talking Jahmyr Gibbs, this running game, and I like the wrinkle that KG inspired as it relates to even Jamison Williams.
Well, look, man, if Jahmyr Gibbs had been the sole back all year, we might be talking about him running for 2,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
I mean, with that average yards per carry, it might have been a year for him, right? I mean, we got the offense for it, and then I think that, with him, he gonna be an X factor, man. Our whole offense is pretty much based on speed. Everybody on our offense has really fast legs, right? And so we got a lot of dynamic athletes, and I think that it's hard to stop. And based on what Dan Campbell said, I think they empty the bag on everything they got because you gotta have this game. You gotta have a game.
And I'm just sitting here right now, and I'm just sitting here looking like Sam Laporta's had a good year for a tight end. He really has. Some people say he doesn't get enough targets. He's going to go over 700 yards, and he's going to probably get 8-9 touchdowns on the year. Obviously, it's not what we saw out of his rookie season, but in terms of how many more people are eating, yeah. Why? Because when you look at here, what did they do? They got the running backs more involved. Even David Montgomery still, at this point in time, is the sixth leading receiver on the team. 341 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs is the fourth leading receiver on the team. 486 yards on the year. He's going to go over 500 yards receiving this year. Like that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when we talk about what these Lions can do, this is this is just, in my opinion, going to boil down to what we've seen them always do. The opportunistic defense that Aaron Glenn can scheme up, and the Lions offense going out there and just beating you however you want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. How many sizes a book have? It's 6? Yeah, that's Ben Johnson when he steps out there. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Oh, you want the spine of the book? You want me to open it up and just throw it at your face? That's what I believe Ben Johnson has. Look at all of the weapons. And that's where if they go out there and they just do what they're supposed to, not play lights out, just do what they're supposed to. Yeah. I don't see a defense in the league that can keep up with this Lions offense.
Hey, and speaking of the Lions offense, there's another component to it which has been as dynamic as any in the league. Their passing offense. And we got to talk about that when comparing their passing offense to the Vikings defense, who has the advantage. I think we're probably going to be a clean sweep on that one. But you know what? We can tell why. But first, JB, tell us about jars.
Tell us about jars. Oh, I got you. Hey, all right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest recreational cannabis products. They've got 27 locations across the state, so you know they're repping Michigan in a big way possible. Shout out to Kool-Aid right there. 9 locations right now in Metro Detroit, so you know there's always one nearby. And don't fear if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, because get ready, new stores are coming very, very soon. It's Jars Cannabis. You want to get high?
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or saving a quiet morning with the WUW Crew and Woodward Sports, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com and make sure that you're using code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Hey, and we are back, and we're still in TLB mode. Last show before the Sunday night game. Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, and you know what? We just have to really get down to it. Who has the advantage? Who has the advantage? The Lions passing offense or the Vikings defense? And I think that this is another one. That's just going to be a clean sweep, but we have to do it some justice and just break this thing down. Just to put the answer out there, Jared Goff does.
Of course. Well, there's one thing that actually left me very encouraged in the 49ers game. Credit where credit is due. Nick Bosa was giving Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell work all game long, and the Lions still scored 40. Mm-hmm. You talk about a dominant defensive end just having a phenomenal game and it not mattering in the scoreboard. I love to see that because the Vikings, they do have an edge rusher duo who I really like, Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, who's getting slept on for Defensive Player of the Year, by the way, but that's another story for another day. They could be a problem, especially whoever's going up against Taylor Decker. Not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he is the worst of the Decker and a Penei Sewell. He's the worst option. So I think that they might make a play or two. But I think when it comes to the Lions receiving core, especially when you include J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Tim Patrick, that they have the clear advantage over the secondary of the Minnesota Vikings. And, of course, when you have Jared Goff throwing them the ball, I mean, don't get me wrong. The Vikings safeties are pretty good. Stephon Gilmore is not what he was, but he's solid. Shaquille Griffin, not terrible, but they're just all right as a secondary to me. And the Lions offense, the Lions passing offense is far from all right. They are the #1 scoring offense in the NFL and one of the most efficient passing attacks in the NFL as well. So I think this is a game where the Lions can put up points. They got to keep Jared Goff relatively protected and not let him get sacked. But even if they do, as you saw with Nick Bosa, didn't matter. Just when you're not getting sacked, complete long passes. Run the ball.
And what I've loved is that it feels like the Lions have figured out what the Vikings were trying to do to them. After that 10-point spot, there was nothing that the Vikings could do to realistically stop the Detroit Lions offense. And Jared Goff, in the face of blitzes, you know what? He's a really good quarterback. It's almost like if you want to blitz him, just give us the first down. So I don't know what they have to do. They're going to have to make sure they have a strong front four and any of their disguised blitzes that you make sure you get home. Because like you talked about in the last show, Flannel, the one thing we've seen him get really, really good at is making sure to avoid those like down and long type distances by how he's using a little bit of his mobility. We talk about taking a little bit of improvement and having it have a massive impact. Not taking less sacks, having less down and longer distances where he's able to get away and either throw the ball into the dirt, or we've seen him do this, run away and actually pick up positive yards, first downs, or find somebody to throw it to down the field. So it's like, you know what? And with Ben Johnson, he's able to design these things where it seems like he has the mobility, almost like they're designing the coverage and the pocket for Jared Goff. And it's just everything working in sync. Kind of like how you talk about on the defensive side between Aaron Glenn and Alex Anzalone being that green dot. When you talk about what Ben Johnson and Jared Goff are doing right now, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And right now, that baby is a 14-2 Detroit Lions team.
Yeah, I think that the game is going to come down to really who's able to dictate the line of scrimmage or dictate the game. I think Ben Johnson and Jared Goff probably know that Brian Flores likes to blitz a lot. We saw that a lot in the first game when they played in whatever week that was. So I think we probably see Ben Johnson or just the offense in general start to treat second down as if it was third down. And then we know they go for it on fourth down. And I think they should probably do that to keep the defense off the field this week as much as possible. But I think that we'll probably go for that. It'll be first down, second down, first down again instead of trying to get to third down where the defense knows you got to throw the ball. That's where Minnesota's defense will probably kick in and have the advantage if we get to third down and long, 3rd and 8, and then they just bring the heat, even though they probably don't need to all the time because they got such a stout front four on their defense. But I think we'll be okay. Ben Johnson is a wizard, man. Like, they going into this game knowing, like, yeah, all we need to do is just outsmart what we know that they do well or they do a lot, which is blitz all the time.
And when all
they got
else,
something for that.
And when all else fails, in case of emergency, break glass and bring out the wheelbarrow. Because when fourth down, that's what I'm saying. Look, you can push this, but we've seen this. 2nd and 4. Then all of a sudden, maybe the running back gets stopped on 2nd and 4, and now it's 3rd and 7. And then all of a sudden, though, we make a little bit of a push on 3rd down or it's 3rd and 5, and all of a sudden it's 4th and 5. Yeah. And we all know, think about this, because repetition is the thing. That to me is what breeds that type of success. You got the practice, and they're doing this stuff in live games. So if they're stepping up now, saying every single play, like, we're putting pressure on you, we're either kicking 55-plus yards field goals or we're going for it on every 4th down, I'm sorry, that defense is going to get taxed. That's what we've seen the Lions do. There are so many times where if the Lions would have conceded, I don't know what the outcomes of those games would have been, but we have a Dan Campbell who's going out there and saying, yes, the game may be close, but what we do and the comfortability we have in doing this, that's what's going to be the difference. People talk about the trick plays, and people and they talk about how comfortable the Lions offense looks. Do you know how in sync they have to be able to do that? Do you know how much confidence and how much synergy is in this team right now to be as successful as they are on the 4th downs, and to know that that level of aggression is what realistically has this team still humming and still having everything in front of them despite all of the deficiencies that they've gone through?
Yeah, that puts pressure on the other team. Like, when you go for it on 4th down, even if it's predictable or not, that still is like, oh, man, this is another play that we got to defend. We may have just stopped them on 3rd and 5, but it's 4th and 5 now. Now they're going for it. Now it's like, it puts you in a position where you're prone to kind of make a mistake, a mental mistake, and that's all you need. That could be the difference in the game right there.
And you know what's funny too? Every defensive coordinator, every fan, when you see a 4th down and your team is on defense, you want to see the punter out there. You don't want to see a team go for it. But Dan Campbell has been forcing defensive coordinators and opposing teams' fans into a lot of uncomfortable situations because, as we've said before, and as the stats lay out, as outcomes in games have dictated, it works more often than it doesn't, and you love to see that. And that's just another down that you have to account for as the Vikings defense in the case of this week. And I want to give one other key that just kind of popped into my head as I was looking at the Vikings numbers and just kind of dissecting what I remember from them. One challenge that they're going to have to face is last time that the Lions faced the Vikings, which they went into Minnesota and won, the Vikings did not have their linebacker Blake Cashman. And when you're talking about Brian Flores with his wizardry and his of his own and his blitzing, Blake Cashman is somebody that Brian Flores likes to blitz. He's gotten home for 4.5 sacks, and he's just a damn good all-around linebacker. So beware of that. Beware of Jonathan Grenard. Beware of Andrew Van Ginkel. If you can keep those guys relatively in check, I think it'll be just fine. If you give Jared Goff time to throw against this secondary, it is so over that I can't even stress that enough.
Oh my gosh. Amon-Ra, possession receiver, not afraid to go across the middle, not afraid to go and get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, bring it, because you have to deal with Amon-Ra and Jameer. Like, the way that it's starting to really, really sound, I believe those two are going to have a field day.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of points are going to be scored in this game. A lot by the Lions, for sure. Yeah, a lot of points. A lot of points will be scored. And just a little funny tidbit about the about the 49ers-Lions game that I think actually bodes well for the Lions O-line going against this Vikings D-line. Did you know that the 49ers had 2 sacks and 4 quarterback hits the whole game? Every single one of them was by Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is just a special player that had a day. It's not... like Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel are damn good players. Maybe between them they equal Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is on a different level, so I don't think there should be any worries about the Lions' offensive line.
No, not at all. And Dante151, I see you with the $20 super chat, $19.99.
Shout out.
We can't forget about Craig Reynolds becoming a knuckles stand-in when it comes to being that bruising running back up the middle, and he can also be a catching threat. He had 26-yard catch and run that led to the first touchdown. I meant to call that out too. What do we know about David Montgomery? Even when sometimes the rushing numbers weren't there, we were able to look up and say, man, but he still got 70 yards from scrimmage. And Craig Reynolds got like 67 or 68 yards from scrimmage.
He did, yeah. He had 66.
60, man.
Yeah, 66.
But hey, and you know what? That's good on you, Dante, for also pointing that out as well, because talk about that next man up, and people say it just can't keep happening like that. This is a guy with the nickname of Netflix who's stepping up and playing the David Montgomery role and did it quite convincingly.
Shout out to Craig Reynolds.
Craig.
He's like Michael Myers. You think that he's going to play his way out of the league. You think, okay, they've got a duo. They don't need Craig Reynolds. But when he's needed, he steps in. I mean, you look at last season with that incredible block in the game against the Buccaneers that sprung Amon-Ra St. Brown. I forgot which playoff game it was. I think it was the game against the Buccaneers where Craig Reynolds had a 4th and goal touchdown in the playoffs. You're like, what the hell is he supposed to be in? And then this year... he's not going to be David Montgomery. He's not going to do anything super special, but 66 yards from scrimmage, you would do... If Craig Reynolds gets 66 yards for scrimmage against the Vikings, you should be doing backflips. That means that the Lions' offense is absolutely humming. So he's doing what he's got to do, and he's sticking around on this Lions team. God bless him. It's just a nice underdog story. Even though I'm not usually an underdog story fan, as people know, but Craig Reynolds, I can make an exception for you. But not Tom Kennedy. Enjoy the practice squad for life. Enjoy the practice squad for life.
Oh man, does anybody have any worries about this game? Anybody? Now, obviously there are things you got to talk about, but I love the feel of this room, and I know that the Vikings fans, they've been confident for some time.
Justin Jefferson worries me.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want any of our backs to get beat over the top.
I get you.
Don't let him in the end zone.
You realize we 7-1 in the last couple seasons against the Vikings with him going off every game.
I know, but man, it's a different year for them. So he the only person on that entire team that worries me at all. Is just don't let him get over the top for a touchdown. Keep him out of the end
I rock
zone.
with you a lot, but this is something I can't rock with you with. We let Justin Jefferson go off every single time they played. He set the record for receiving yards in a game against the Lions, and it still didn't matter. We still won that game. We could have Kendall Vildor on him the entire game. We still find a way to win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Justin Jefferson can get his. They have Sam Darnold at quarterback, and we are going to win this game. There is nothing that will stop us. I have no doubt in my mind that the Lions are going to win this game.
You spend too much time with Neil Rule, Justin. You spend a little too much time with the deal because that man has a vendetta against Justin Jefferson. But I actually, Steph...
I didn't say Justin Jefferson was bad. I said he went off every single game, and I expect him to go off again. But it doesn't matter if he goes off. We're still going to win.
Can we just say one thing, though? I know we can, little girls point and laugh at Sam Darnold. Do you know why one of the reasons why Justin Jefferson went off and the Lions won last year? Who was playing quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings?
We know.
Nick Mullins, who is a literal, actual scrub. So I actually rock with Steph more on this one. And spoiler alert, I don't think the Vikings are going to win. We're going to be giving our score predictions next. But I'm not just going to be like, psh, Justin Jefferson can have 200 yards and the Lions are still going to win. That's
the one difference. Yeah. It's like if we're going to guarantee that Sam Darnold is going to make those turnovers, then yeah. And that's why I do understand, because I know what you believe is going to happen Sunday. Yeah. But if we're going to pick out one concern, if you're not forcing Sam Darnold into turnovers, then it could look a lot like it did against the Texans.
Yeah.
And that's just the point of it. Like, it's... You're going to have to force him into turnovers. Otherwise, if you don't force Nick Mullins into turnovers, we don't win that game. That's the reality.
Sam Darnold will give us one. It's like Matthew
Yeah,
Stafford.
I think so.
Oh yeah, Aaron Glenn. I feel like the checkmate is on the way. Randall Smalls, $5 super chat. Welcome to when we had Barry would go off and still lose.
Well, it's I mean, we don't need to be reminded about that. That's still depressing. But oh well, Lions are good now. Just wish that Barry could have experienced more team success, but that's fine. That's fine.
Dang, Ed O'Neill, 199 super chat. Thank you, chat family. Thank you guys, straight up, man, for you guys smashing that like button. Let's run it up, man. Let's run it up. But he says he set the record with Kirk, and we won. LOL.
No, I mean, yeah, he's put up numbers with Kirk Cousins, with Nick Mullins over the last couple of years, with Sam Darnold this year. He actually was held, I wouldn't say in check, but I think he only got 81. I understand that. It's just that this Vikings team, say what you want about them, they are 14-2. This is the best Vikings team since 2022, which they choked in the playoffs, and the Vikings team this year might choke in the playoffs as well. But this isn't like, I don't think it's just as linear as, Justin Jefferson could get $185 and the Lions are still going to win. I think you're going to have to hold Justin Jefferson to a little bit less than that. And, of course, get Sam Darnold to throw that one pick, which we all think is going to happen.
And I don't think he'll be going for 185 just because even with our injuries, our secondary is much improved from last year. Like I said, the key is stopping everyone else. Justin Jefferson can have his, but you can't allow T.J. Hockenson or Jalen Naylor to be the nail in the coffin for the Lions. You can't.
I want to look
or
back,
Jordan Addison.
I want to look back at the Packers after the Lions play this game and laugh at the fact that they let Jalen Naylor go off, because I really hope that the Lions don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying Jalen Naylor's a scrub. He's found a small niche in the NFL. He's a player, like an NFL player, but I mean, come on. He's the last person that you really game plan for if you're going up against the Vikings offense. Maybe not the last, but like in terms of receiving threats, like the fourth or fifth.
Yeah, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the Vikings either, because they sit right here with the same record as us. But I can't wait till we get those shirts printed off, man. We ain't leaving Detroit, bro.
Oh, man. Weezy D313.
313 Thug Boss. Shout out.
Talk about like blast from the past. Irv Smith, remember when he was the Vikings tight end?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about Kyle Rudolph, our favorite Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith memory. 248. Eddie.
You know what?
Right.
Let's. What do we want to do? Do we want to give the final score prediction now, or we got a little bit of time before what's trending, or do we just give it now?
Let's give it now.
We'll do it now. Go to break. We'll come back for what's trending. You know, I want to start with KG.
Don't start with me. Move on.
I know Flannel prepared.
Do you want me to
Let's
start?
Let's go, Flannel. Kick this off. Everyone's still deliberating, I see.
Lions 35, Vikings 31. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think that for the most part, the Lions are going to get whatever they want offensively, and the difference in this game will be a Kirby Joseph pick and the one time where the Lions hold the Vikings to a field goal. So give me a close 35-31 win in which we're a little bit more nervous than we'd like to be in the fourth quarter, but ultimately come home victorious.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 31-24 type thing, and the Vikings have to kick a field goal to bring it to 31-27, but then the Lions are going to effectively ice the clock down. And have the ability with Jake Bates to kind of kick it away and put themselves up 34-27, and they're going to effectively, there'll be a couple of wishless attempts by the Vikings, but ultimately they're going to run out of time, and this is going to be one where we see the Lions victorious.
Yes.
Let's go.
Like it.
Give me 38-28 forward down the field. The Lions' offense is, you got to rely on them at this point. Jared Goff, go out there, show them why you are the quarterback that we paid all this money to. Have a day, man. And I feel like this Lions offensive line, as long as they keep him clean, then we'll be fine, man. We already know what Gibbs going to do, but the challenge is going to be keeping that Vikings defense honest. We know they blitz a lot. But they have gotten beat that way too, especially in that last Lions game. So as long as you keep that defense honest, man, give Jared Goff the time he needs, they're going to be able to get this done.
Hey, JB Smooth, what up, though? WUW Sports MVP and our voice of reason. What up, though?
Well, I don't want to be so disrespectful against the Vikings. So, and I'm not going to be that disrespectful.
40-2.
I won't go that far, but this will be a very back and forth game. I will take the Lions 34, Vikings 28. Like I said, it'll be super close. The X factor will be Kirby Joseph picking off Sam Darnold in the fourth quarter and taunting in his face that you're going home.
See that?
Hey, Steph, kick it off, and then Cavassier chase that dude.
All right, so hear me out. The Vikings been able to skate under the radar all year.
They're about to get exposed.
No pressure, no spotlight. The spotlight been on us all year long. Now that the expectations are there, I think they lose this game because they don't know how to operate under that. So my final score is 38-31. I think Jake Bates is going to be huge. We're going to need a huge field goal either at the end of the half or near the end of the game to ice the game.
Just keep it, yeah.
Yeah, to keep that distance between us. So let's go 38-31 Detroit. I think Gibbs has a big game. I think Jared Goff has an okay game. We're not going to really need him to throw the ball like that. We want him to run the ball and run the clock.
Hey, let's go.
So 38-31 Detroit.
I got. Sorry, I lost my number. I got 38-24 for the Lions. I think 5 touchdowns. I think Jake Bates will end up kicking a field goal. But we spotted the Vikings 10 points last time. They ended up scoring. I think it was like 29-31. So we'll give them 5 back. Then get 24 out of that 29. But I don't think we're going to give them 10.
Chase GPT. I love it.
But honestly, if the Lions hold them to 24 points, that's a damn good effort by the Lions defense.
Isn't that
A damn good
gambling
effort.
thing, though?
Absolutely.
That's what we always talk about, that 20 plus or minus 3.
Yeah.
I think that.
We hold somebody up under 30 points at this stage of the season. That's like, you did a heck of a job, my friend.
Yeah.
Bravo.
That dude.
I got 42-35, and I have them scoring a backdoor cover to make it close at the end. I think it's going to be. I think the Lions are going to have control the entire game.
I believe that too.
That dude Justin is not worried at all. Look at him in his. Hey, put the camera back on. He looking like Jared Goff now. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for a while. Hey, and I love it because it goes hand in hand with 3-on-3 Thug Boss, who also said, "What? We ain't leaving Detroit, man." I absolutely love that vibe. But hey, I'm looking at the chat family now. We'll read a couple of these before we take a talk to some friends and get into what's trending. But Mitten Maid, 31-21 Lions. Real K77, 42-0 Lions.
Okay.
Herb Nash, 31-20 the Lions. Diggity Dog, Lions 52, Queens 24. Gun Guy, 45-39 Lions. It's just people are very, very obviously optimistic about this. But J.T. Olsen, 38-34 Vikings.
He's a Buccaneers fan. He actually is. I mean, thank you for being in the chat, and your team is in the playoffs as well. So, but hey, whoever actually loses that game probably faces the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's how it goes. One prediction that is interesting: Wheezy D313, Lions 21, Vikings 10, and then he said something later on like, it's playoff football. Playoff football got to come into play soon. This shootout shit got to stop. I don't think either team is capable of holding of like a 21-10 game at this point. These are just too. The Lions' offense is too good, and the Lions' defense is too beat up to have a 21-10 game.
And what is a shootout? The only real shootout has been that Bills game. All the other ones, these teams stunted in the first quarter, and then the rest of the way, it was like a vice grip. Even with the Bears, it was like they had 7 points the whole second half of that game up until like a garbage touchdown. So it's just like, I don't know. I see this team sometimes, and they talk about it openly themselves. It's crazy. The level of confidence they have to just come out and say things at halftime and during games like, yeah, we figured out what they're doing. We good from here. Think about that. That's crazy. Like, to know they're not even, they too scared to show up and even be their own identity. We missing how many players, and we show up as Detroit Lions every week to the tune that everyone knows what to complain about. These fools, they change some things, and when we put them up against the ropes, all of a sudden, they're losing their footing.
They know we're going to score points. That's
They
a
know
lot
it.
of pressure on another team when they know, like, okay, we're not going to be able to stop the offense, so we got to be perfect, and we got to make sure that we score a lot of points. That's pressure. That makes a difference in the game.
Man, let's get into this next segment because I know
Pressure
everybody
defense.
wants what's trending.
Yes.
I love it, bro. I'm fired up, man. I'm really fired. I'm just ready to get there. Justin, whatever vibe he's in, that's just completely like where I'm at now. It's just like, man, where's the game at? What's up?
Yeah.
It's BTA.
My feet up.
That's where I'm at. I'm just like, you know what? Let me sit with my pinky up.
He's staying in Detroit all the way into February, something like that.
Let's go.
I mean, Justin's chill because he can still stand on the hypothetical Georgia win that they got last night.
Hypothetical.
Bruh.
I told you about Georgia, though. I was trying to warn you, man.
Hey, bro. I hit at 75% in college, and I got one of the playoff games wrong this week.
Yeah.
and I would still take Georgia 9 out of 10 times because I truly believe that they were the better team. They just shot themselves in the foot last night.
Right.
I mean, I can't believe Kirby Smart tried to go for it with like 30 seconds left when it was 6-3 and just gave them that 10-point lead. But hey, it happens. Any team can win any day. You saw with Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah,
now Ohio State's
except
gonna
for Sunday night.
Now Ohio State's gonna go on and win the Natty. So
yeah.
And I texted Travis that 2 days ago, and I was like, "Hey man, have fun with this one. You guys about to go win the Natty."
It's okay. He has to celebrate that with a Michigan tattoo on.
Hope that doesn't.
That is honestly the biggest karma for Trav, though. It'd be so funny though. Honestly, like if Ohio State does win the Natty, like I just laugh because of the fact that Trav has the Michigan tattoo.
I know.
Who's stopping Minnesota in the backfield though? What?
Wait,
who's Binswoofer? What?
Is he a?
Let's just get to what's trending so we can try and answer some of this stuff. What are they talking about?
Fair enough. All right. Well, I gotta tell you about Mark White. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
A Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a limited time offer. Continuing throughout the football season, Soroki's is debating their fresh signature flavored wings this football season. Grab your friends, order New York style pizza, and add fresh wings for the games this weekend. Try one of their 7 different flavors. Visit their website at sorokis.com.
Skydog722, Justin, would you put Vildor and Jefferson? These dudes,
Hey, Charles.
This is hilarious to me, but let me tell you guys about Dr. Pierce. Listen, attention sports fans. Don't miss our expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. I know the latest vid that just hit social media is his content on Jaden Ivey, the injury, what that road ahead looks like, as well as we got some Alex Anzalone and Aiden Hutchinson content out as well. So you want to stay tapped in with him. You want to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. DMAC. Hey, Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And you know what? Let's just spark up word to Dispo, word to Jars. JB
yes,
Smooth.
Jars.
There we go.
Let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
It's me, it's Smooth JB. In my
Right.
Diamond Dallas Page voice.
Hey, what's up, fellas? What's up, chat family? Before I get into these videos, I gotta congratulate someone. We call him El Presidente here at Woodward Sports, Mr. Neil Rule, on broadcasting his 500th game at Oakland University. Shout out to him once again. And here's a little special video of him walking into the press conference after the Grizzlies won yesterday.
That's the last thing he needs. More bigging up.
Yeah, he about to be in here with a huge. I am not looking at 3 Vikings.
Shout out to Neil.
I've never seen you look that way. Dumbfounded. I've seen you look dumb. Dumb, yeah. I've heard that. I don't know. I've seen it, but I've never seen you look that dumbfounded. So that's good. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Shout out to Neil
Shout
Rule,
out to
man.
Neil, the president.
Shout out to our president here. Oh, man. I know the year just started, but I think I've got the slowest police chase you will ever see this year possible.
Dog, what?
The slowest police chase in
That's
the
Jahmyr
world.
Gibbs and the Vikings linebackers.
I don't understand what's going on here. I just don't. It's like they're jogging.
You know what?
How is this possible?
I feel like they're like, man, it's New Year's. I don't need this. But we got to make an effort because the cameras are on. It's like, let her get away. We lost her. We lost her, Sarge.
What's up, Chase?
It's Steph. What up, Steph?
Like, come on. That's
What up,
more of a
Steph?
fast walk.
Yo, if anyone else is trying to get into running, I've been talking to Ryan Lentz in the bag. We're trying to start our own little like run club. We started a little Facebook group, 3.13 Run Club. If you guys want to check it out on Facebook.
Are we going to be more like her or more like the cops?
I mean, it's a little. Everybody can come and run. You know, I don't have to be super fast.
Hey,
you
I
know?
like that.
And man, if Minnesota come up in Ford Field running like those cops behind Jahmyr Gibbs, oh wow. It's a done deal, man.
Man,
it will be 42-0.
I mean, yeah.
At halftime.
How can you be a cop and you can't even run down? Is that Marion Jones out there or somebody?
And it's not
Hey,
just
she
she breaks
sure
the
that they
tackle
didn't
in the
slow this
beginning,
down?
too.
Yeah, she does break the tackle. And I get it. If you're a cop, you probably want to manhandle her in a respectful way that she can't sue or whatnot. I get that, but at some point, if she's actually like breaking the law, she's like, run her down.
I love the
She's
chat.
a woman. Run her down.
Michael
Are we sure
Danye.
this
It's like
isn't played at half speed?
you know, it's
No,
looking like
slow
that.
speed.
Michael Danye. It looks like a horror movie.
Look at the utility belt they got on. That's a lot of weight that they got to carry. That the assailant is
Chase,
running
stop
away
it.
with. Not.
She broke the tackle and gave him a little juke mode. Xavier D. Cops running at 8.440.
Unreal. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. You know, we got the Lady Janes over here, so come and get a fresh cut. But you know what? It's not fresh. This new haircut right here. The latest trend, everybody. Getting your eyebrows.
Oh, hell no. Getting the eyebrow line up.
I took a drink of water and it made my water taste disgusting in my mouth while I was watching this.
What's the point?
This is a new trend that's out right now. I guess getting your eyebrow shaved or your eyelashes.
People just do whatever.
I mean, hey, it's the world we live in right
I have
now.
no comment. I don't know what to say.
I just why? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
This don't make you look no fresher. You still ugly. Like, hey man, I don't know. I don't get it.
Hey, don't let Matt LaFleur see that you can do this because he's gonna.
Oh no!
You know him. Pretty boy LaFleur is definitely gonna get his eyebrows done.
Anything to make the crying more realistic.
Women try to make their eyelashes longer. This wouldn't really be in chic for like what usually
unless
you want
it's just
longer
the trend.
eyelashes.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
This is
Shorter ones.
Detroit Arrow. Good luck keeping the dirt out of your eyes.
Man.
That's right, because that's what eyebrows are for.
Right, it is a barrier of protection.
Eyelashes.
Yeah, my bad. Why'd I say brows? But aren't the brows?
It's right above,
Yeah.
The chat's going crazy, dog.
Look, like I said, this is ridiculous. I don't know what trends you guys are into right now, but we need to stop this. It's 2025. You gotta stop this. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mail.
Michael Danye, only serial killers do this. I'm not saying this guy's a serial killer, but he's more likely to be one after seeing him do that. His percentage went from what, like 1% to maybe 5.
Is he going to be a heroin addict too?
Him and Lily Phillips, they can go to rehab together in 7 years. Get clean, get your life up.
Don Beat said he needs to be arrested.
I'm cool with that.
Hey, you know what? What friends we got to say what up
all the time.
Who we got to say hi to? Because I do want to tell the people about this watch party this weekend, man.
1800 and Feldman along with the watch party as well, too. So,
go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, people, we want to see you this Sunday. This Sunday. This one is for not everything, but almost everything. At Hey Social, live in Shelby Township. It is the New Holland Brewing Company watch party and the post-game show. We get things kicked off with the heavyweights and other Woodward Sports personalities that are going to be in the building, and we're hoping that you guys join us as well. This one is going to be cinema. We want you guys involved in all of the content that goes on, all of our viral reactions to the biggest moments of that game. And right after that, you got the post-game show, hosted by Stick and Anson, immediately following the game. Hey, I'm hoping you guys are eating good and drinking good there as well, because Hey Social got it hooked up. But we want you a part of this post-game show. Instant analysis, instant reaction. You get to call in, or if you're there, we give you a mic, put you on camera, make you a part of the show. All of this is brought to you by Tangerine Special Machine, Charlie, your local long drink, 1800 Tequila, Soroki's, and Sabbath Coffee. Only on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
And 1800.
1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila at Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hay Social in Shelby Township. And celebrate the wins with smooth 800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 800 Tequila, the best tasting tequila. Drink responsibly.
And can't forget about Feldman.
Feldman, man, the place to be if you want to get a new car. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. I see Charles McClain. He says, Feldman Mailbag. With the 2 remaining top free agents, Alonzo and Bregman, still out there, what does he say? Dang, it just moved. Oh, and both have the same agent. Are the owners finally winning the bid wars, or is Scott Boras finally losing the bids?
Whew. That's a good question. That's not really my area of expertise, but bring Alex Bregman home. That's all I'll say.
Right. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. I'm saying, like, even some of the reports that are coming out where people are like, yo, outsiders, yeah, he'd be a perfect fit, but they don't know if he's going to spend.
They're making the play up. They could win the division if they bring in Alex Bregman.
I'm pretty sure last year we saw a couple of Scott Boras clients have to take less money or like shorter term, for the potential to get a longer deal at the end of the season. I think specifically Blake Snell is who I'm coming to mind. I think he ended up opting out with the Padres and ended up having to sign a shorter term deal with the Giants to hopefully make more money. I don't know if you guys want to double check that, but it wouldn't be the first time a Boras client would have to settle for like either shorter term or less money than they initially asked for.
I think you're right. And then he got a deal with the Dodgers, so it worked out for him.
Yeah.
I think that Bregman is going to have a shorter term, but we're going to overpay him. I think that's the only way that they're going to want to get it done. I think they care more about the back end of the deal when we have all our youth and Colt Keith in his prime and Riley Green in his prime. I think that's a main cause for why Bregman is – all these negotiations are going on for so long. I think they're looking to try to sign a 3 or 4 year deal, not a 6, and they're going to pay him more money.
You know what? This is an interesting one here. John Effing Lord, Feldman Mailbag. What color jersey did you pick, Flannel? 33 yards.
33
if Jameson
yards.
Williams gets 33 receiving yards, that means, or ends the game with at least 33 receiving yards or more, you getting that Jamo jersey.
Have not picked the color yet.
Is there one that you're leaning towards?
It'll be a hunch on the day.
Muscles?
It'll be a hunch on the day. Probably black. Because I like other than flannels, I do love me some black t-shirts. I got a ton of them at home. So I'll probably go black.
Let's rock. Herb Nash, a mailbag, Feldman Mailbag. Do we ever see Gibbs getting to or near 2,000 rushing yards for a season?
No.
I feel like he has the capability, but everything that we've seen this Lions team do is to keep their players not just in a position to where you can platoon those guys and keep them fresh and be able to reduce the usage. So it's like if they continue on with that, I don't even know if I would want. If you're telling me you can line up a David Montgomery back there with him, why not?
I mean, with 17 games, I suppose it could happen. I'm leaning more towards Justin's side of this, where I could see him having a career high of like 1,650, while also having maybe 500 receiving yards to give him over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. But 2,000 yards is, off the top of my head, OJ did it. Eric Dickerson did it. Terrell Davis did it. Jamal Lewis did it.
Chris Johnson,
Adrian
Peterson,
CJ2K. So it's very rare. I'll just say that.
I think that the thing with this is as well too. This just came across my phone right now. He's 2 touchdowns away from breaking the Lions' single-season touchdown record over Jamal Williams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think he get that.
Wow. I do. Yeah. And especially when you think about how much these players really try to make sure that their teammates can eat in those ways. And that's dope. And Tabitha Gable said, did you see Debo on the St. Browns Brothers podcast? And you know what I loved about it? It's more validation that everything matters to these players. Amon-Ra was so mocking Warner. He was like, yeah, I saw him talking about limping. What was he saying? We bringing y'all out to the West Coast. And Debo Samuel was getting so pissed off. He's like, bro, what we talking about, man? We starting to pot or no? And it was awesome to see, like, yeah, they take this stuff personal.
That's what's so mind-boggling, because Fred Warner, he's too good of a player to do something like that. You know what I mean? But I felt the same way about Xavier McKinney, but people just don't learn.
Yeah, hey,
they don't
what up,
learn.
Cavassier?
Chase.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think in regards to like the Gibbs 2,000-yard season, I'd probably put more money on like him having 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving season to get 2,000 yards from scrimmage that way. Like Sam was saying, it's really there's not a lot of people who've done the 2,000 rushing yards in a season, but I think we could see him with his dynamic ability to do like the 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving.
I think the only way that you see it is if you see a major injury again early in the season to David Montgomery or Jameson Williams, where he has to take on more of a receiving role and more of a workhorse role. Or in a couple years, if you do end up having to get rid of Jameson Williams, which would be absolutely awful, but we can't pay everyone. If you have to get rid of J-Bo and more offensive load has to fall on Gibbs, then that would be when I would say that's in the realm. But as long as we have Monty, Gibbs, and J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't see there being enough touches for him to get to 2,000.
Yeah, the fact that all of these guys are able to get 1,000 total yards, which we didn't before the season, we pondered it, and they got there. And I think that in the future, they're going to have legit shots to get 5 players. I think that there's so much more to what Sam Laporta is going to be able to bring in the future, that there's going to be seasons where we're seeing 5 players, skill position players, with 1,000 total yards from scrimmage.
I mean, I wouldn't put it. I mean, they already got 4, so.
And he's sitting at 700, just about 700 yards, and we know that he didn't necessarily start off the season on a tear.
Oh, that's right. Sam Laporta is the next closest one. I just want to highlight this too. Weezy's got some really weird takes and some really weird hills that he dies on. Fred Warner finally got exposed, the Dak Prescott of middle linebackers. Come on, come on, Weezy. What do you got against Fred Warner, and what do you got against Zadarius Smith, by the way?
Super Bowl Dak. Hey Dak, what are you doing this year? Super Bowl. No, you're not.
Fred Warner's the best middle linebacker in the NFL. And both things can be true. Fred Warner's the best middle linebacker in the NFL, but he also played himself a little bit by doing what he did pregame. Why the F are you doing that, Fred Warner? You're too good of a player to be doing shit like that.
Man, go Lions. I think this is the part of the show where we got to break it down and throw it over to Sam Flannel before we do that. Absolutely,
yes. And I promise I'm not trying to avoid my JMO responsibilities. I assure you, when it will get done, it'll be the first thing I do, but I am going to be out for a couple of weeks, just taking a little bit of time for myself, but everybody else will hold it down while I'm gone, and I can't wait to get back, and hopefully I am back for my first day with a JMO jersey on, because I think he's getting at least 34 yards or 33 yards. So thank you guys.
No, thank you, brother, man. Thank you. Yeah. You already know we're gonna support you, to the moon, bro, and back. So, everything you always are to us, regardless of if people agree with your takes or not, who you are as a person, bro. I'm glad to call you brother, and so Yeah, definitely. People definitely put some likes on the stream for Flannel. Put your love in the chat for Flannel as well, and support people, man. Support people.
And Wheezy, now you're calling Derwin James. Come on, who do you like? Who do you like, Wheezy? For real, name one player that you like. Now Derwin James is mid. Come on. Don't do that. It's okay. Anywho, go on.
Hey, let's get that chest pass going to break the scene down. Hey, what a chest pass. I like that.
Yeah,
one.
that was maybe a little bit too hot. My bad.
I like that one. I felt like I'm about to dunk it down like
I didn't
Derwin,
mean
man.
to.
Let's rock.
Exactly.
I love that. Hey, and I see the love in the chat for Flannel as well. I definitely want to be able to read that off before we close this one up. Tyler Jones, Vikes fans wear flannel. I love that one. Grim says one pride flannel. I'm seeing a lot of people here giving you some love. 8is401 flannel. Enjoy your time off. And just more, man. So Mike Bell, blessings to you, flannel. Yeah. So shout out to you guys, man. And definitely get that rest, bro.
Thank you.
Get that rest. It's been Wake Up Woodward, chat fam. If you haven't gotten the opportunity to, definitely go ahead and smash that like button and stay tapped in with the rest of Woodward Sports the rest of this day. This is Pep Rally Day. The next time that we're going to see you guys is on game day, and I can't wait. So let's break this down. Shout out to our brother Broder as well. Love you, brother. But over here, we got High Def Steph in the building.
Sir.
High Def Steph Fridays. What up, though, brother? Hey.
What up, though?
He is the official DJ for the Detroit Pistons, the official DJ for the Motor City Cruise.
Yes.
Wayne State, corporate, clubs, parties, events.
Yeah.
Did stuff with Big Sean, all of that, man.
Yeah, bunch of stuff, man. I appreciate y'all having me here. I just want to remind the fans that Kate Cunningham is 6th in All-Star voting.
Yes,
Make sure
sir.
you go to vote.nba.com and cast your vote. You can vote every day. And today is a 3-for-1 day, so you vote 3 times.
Hey, y'all listen to High Def Steph.
Yeah,
Shout out.
right.
Chase GPT today. You were on your Chase GPT today, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Yesterday on the heavies, I was filled in for Nick. They asked, like, what's the difference between Chase GBT and Kavasi Chase? And I said, you guys kind of just make that decision. So, but yeah, hey, thanks for everybody tuning in this week. We got big game Sunday, so come out to the second best, last regular season home game of the year. We'll still have, 2 more before the Super Bowl. So make sure you guys come on out, 10 a.m., hang out with Neil. JB, I believe, is going to be there. Sean, myself. So I hope you guys have a good one. And get ready for the game on Sunday night. Shout out my dad. Love you, man. Shout out to the guys at Seymour 40 if you're listening. And let's have a good one. Let's go Pistons and Red Wings this weekend.
Let's go. And I see you in the chat, Brock. Where's Woodward in the Main? Sunday morning. They are going to be live and in action. The legend Terry Foster and our brother and young legend Matthew Broder, man. So tap in with Woodward in the Main and all those other shows. That dude, Justin, you toughing it out, man. I know you're under the weather. But shout out to you, brother.
Hey.
Show him your little Vicks. Show him your little medicine over there, man. He over there. He's struggling.
Hey, shout out to chat, though. Pleasure to be here. This is actually my last day in studio for it will be a while. It will be. So I may come in on Monday, depending on my class schedule. I can't lie, I haven't even looked yet. But I mean, it's been an honor being here for the last couple of weeks. I love hanging out with the crew. I love my job, and I love the chat. So shout out to you guys, and let's have another fun Lions game for this weekend.
That's what I love about it. Making sure, you wanted to get in here and interact with that chat family, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, I love it. Shout out to this elite booth in the sound booth. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. Hey, MVP year for you, brother.
Hey, it look like I got to step up. Apparently, we dropping like flies around here. Damn, man. But listen, man, I love y'all, my team, man. We keep doing this shit week in, week out. I appreciate y'all. Flannel, prayers to you during your week. Enjoy your vacation. And Justin, of course, man, you can't wait for you to get back. You know you my dog, man. I tried to tell you about Georgia, though. But it's all good, man. Shout out to the chat. We love you. Absolutely love you. Even the Vikings fans, we appreciate y'all helping our podcast out. Because apparently y'all ain't got shit going on in Minneapolis. So shout out to y'all, man, for helping the Detroit podcast. But shout out to the fans, man. We love you, and let's keep this shit rolling. Go Lions, man.
Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. That is JB Smooth. What up, though, brother?
Jay Bizzle.
Hey, shout out to everyone in the chat, even the Vikings fans, too, for sticking around. You know, you had to come and see our Lions podcast, our show, for some reason, because as KG said, you don't got shit going on over there as well, too. Flannel, enjoy your time off, man. You will be missed. Man, Justin over there. I feel like this is just like a short time.
Summer's going back to school.
I know, summer's going back to school, too. Like, man, Justin, you tried to tell me about Oregon. My bad, you know. it is what it is as it is right now. And as High Def said, Cade is 6 right now in NBA All-Star votings. Go out there and get those votes up right now. Vote every single day that you can. Cade needs to be in this game, y'all.
Vote for Cade, vote for Cade, vote for Cade. Y'all already know, man. Leader of the Cade Zone Crusade, man. The Cade Crusader. Seeing what he's doing this year, it's like validation to all of us Cade believers. Flannel Salmon, we have fought battles. We have fought battles for
So many battles.
We have gone to war like for Cade. And now to see him having this, guys, let's make that difference. We showed up for our Lions, the fan voting. It was awesome. Let's show up for Cade Cunningham, especially right now. You talk about he's going to have to lift a little bit more now. So vote for him. And you know what? Reverse things just a little bit. It's your boy Brandon Dent, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. And Flannel Sam, man, close out the show for us.
Hey, go Lions. Let's get that 1 seed. Go play a home game. Just take care of business against the Vikings. Like I said, I have them winning a shootout style game, 35-31. And if that happens, we should all be celebrating as fans and coming in the next day looking forward to having 2 home games on the way to the Super Bowl, which is the path of least resistance, which is what we should all want. So go Lions, beat the Vikings, FTV.
And love Flannel. Hey, have a day, you guys. Be blessed. It's been Wake Up Woodward.